Gambino, and I'm a licensed physical therapist and certified Pilates instructor, and I'm here today to talk to you about your Pilates class and how I think it should be planned like a party. And if you are a teacher, this can give you some great tips on how to plan your class and make it the best experience that your students can have. And if you're a student, this might be a way to decide if you're in the right class with the right teacher and the right plan. So I hope this helps. Let me start first by talking about mat Pilates or reformer Pilates. So mat Pilates is, of course, exercises done on a mat. Reformer Pilates is Pilates done on a machine, which is called the reformer, in the studio. And they can have group classes or private classes with that. I'm going to talk today more so about a mat Pilates class because in my opinion, as a therapist, and this is the way that most therapists rehab or train people to get back into their normal physical lives, to reduce pain and to rehab somebody, is that the mat is the way to go to start. I really believe that if you start with learning the basic principles of Pilates, with the breathing and working from the inside out without the distraction of an external machine, that you can get more out of it. For an example, if you came to me and you had difficulty walking, or if you had a surgery, I would start you on a mat because I would want you to just really focus on the small, tiny movements of your body and not be distracted by a machine and worrying about what the machine is doing. So that is my philosophy as far as teaching goes. I tend to always start people on a mat, really getting the philosophy applies down, and then we progress when I feel they're ready to a machine. So today we're going to talk about mat Pilates and how to plan your class. I have notes here so I don't forget. First thing, make sure your instructor is certified. Okay, there are a lot of fitness instructors out there, a lot of trainers, a lot of athletic trainers, a lot of people that are doing Pilates that don't really have a certification. So always check the background of your trainer to make sure that they're certified by a reputable company, whether it's Sept Pilates or Balanced Body or any of those reputable. You'll know because you're going to go look at those certification qualities that they have in their list on their website and see if they're certified. They've had the 500 hours plus of apprenticeship hours and they've taken a test and passed it. And that will also ensure that they're continuing their education every year, getting their CEUs to make sure that they're up to date on the latest, greatest things for Pilates. So you want to make sure your instructor is qualified. Number two, your environment, okay? This is important to me. Planning a party, okay? You're always thinking, right, about your environment for your guests, all right? So I want you to think about if the room is well ventilated, if you have adequate space for people to work out and move, extend their arms so they're not feeling like someone else is gonna smack them in the face or kick them when they're working out. So those are things, especially if you have clients with pre-existing conditions, so high blood pressure, heart issues, arrhythmias, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, things like that where people are going to be heat sensitive. You want to be very cognizant of that if you're planning a class and make sure that the environment feels good for them and it's the best for them, okay? Next thing is your class design. Now this is where I feel like your classes should be starting to be planned like a party. You're gonna send out an invitation, all right? Maybe you've advertised for your class on Facebook or Instagram or via email or a newsletter. Invite, be welcoming. Tell people about what they can expect, what the plan might be, what time the class is, how long it's gonna last, how the class will go. Give them a little bit of insight in how and what they can expect when they sign up. Pilates classes tend to be pricey. And so you want to make sure that they're feeling like they're going to be getting the most out of that class for their money. Make sure that you know your guest list. Know your guests. When you plan a party, you kind of know the people you're inviting, right? So you want to understand what are their problems. Maybe have them fill out a questionnaire prior to the class with their pre-existing conditions, any problems or concerns that they have, so you kind of get to know what you're walking into when you start to teach a class so that you can assess everybody's fitness level and really know, what's going on in that class and be ready to adapt to that population, okay? You're going to set up the scene. When you have a party, you're going to decorate, right? You always want to set the mood and set the scene and how you set your table nicely. You want to do the exact same thing. You want to know after you've had your first class, what people need. All right. So if someone needs a neck pillow, or someone needs something to kneel on, or if someone needs a strap, or any type of additional props, make sure you know that after the first class. Take notes, write that down, and make sure that when the next class happens, you have those things available to your clients in your class so that they don't have to go looking for them. Most of the time they forget that they need them. And so that way they'll be on their mat waiting for them when they come into the class. Okay. Greet your guests. This is a big one for me. I have been to a lot of classes in my lifetime, and I don't enjoy if I walk into a class, it's empty, there's no one there. I'm just kind of sitting on the class waiting for people to show up, waiting for the teacher. If you don't know the teacher, but be there to greet your guests. Be there. Don't run in after teaching another class, or run in because you just came in from to work and you just started your day. Make sure you're there ahead of time so that you can greet your guests. You can talk to them, find out maybe what's going on, how their bodies are feeling that day. If maybe you need to adapt to something, they had shoulder pain from painting all weekend or doing something exertional. You should know what you need to do before the class. That way you already have in the back of your head that you're going to be giving those modifications to that person so that can make it a comfortable class and they can get the best out of it. Okay, so always greet your guests. Next thing is you want to set the mood. If you're going to use music, especially, this is a big one for me because yes, it is a fitness studio, and you want to have the energy and you want to have that good vibe in your studio. But music should be used to also enhance the philosophy of Pilates. It's the mind-body program. So you do not want the distraction of vocals in your Pilates music if you're going to use it. That goes for any other mind-body exercise class, I believe. Is you want the student to be hearing your voice, and students, you should be wanting to hear your instructor's voice, not have the inkling to sing or to hum along like, oh, I love this tune, they played this at my wedding, or something like that. You want to be focused on your body and the brain telling the body what to do. And that external distraction with music that's too loud maybe, or that has strong vocals, is going to distract from you getting the best out of your movement session that you can. Okay, so really, keep the volume low, keep the vocals to a minimum. All right, now plan your menu, teachers and students. Pay attention. Do you think your teacher is planning the menu for your class, or is it taught off the cuff? I'm all for off-the-cuff classes if it's out in the community and you're doing a community class, or if it's a one-off class, an intro class to get people interested in Pilates. But I truly feel that to get the best out of any program, the teacher needs to plan what's happening every single class. You need to know what you're focused on, so everybody in that class is on the same page. Example, you're talking about back pain. You're focusing on back pain, and you know many of your students in that room have back pain, then that class, you're going to focus on that. You're going to really address the small musculature that helps stabilize the pelvis and the spine, and everybody is thinking the same thing. Okay, you really have to plan that menu. Your energy goes where your attention flows. So if your attention is on the low back for that entire class, that's where the energy is going to go. And by doing that at every class and having a focus, long term, those people are going to learn a lot more. They're going to understand about their bodies a lot more. They're going to understand their anatomy. They're going to see the why behind the exercise. And that's important, to understand the why behind your exercise. This is not just go in and mindlessly work out to get those steps in, or to get that calorie burn, or to get that, fat burn on your Fitbit or whatever. This class is meant to help change your body, and to create change, you have to start with focus. All right, so you planned your menu. Next, you're going to speak clearly. If you're a teacher, you want to make sure you're speaking clearly. You're not mumbling. If you have to before your class, do the power pose. When I'm nervous before a class, or if I'm in front of a new audience, I will do the power pose. If you don't know what the power pose is, give it a Google, and you can go into that watch some videos on that to do, but that will help your voice to be a little bit louder, a little bit clearer, and you to speak with a little bit more confidence when you're teaching your class, especially if you're a new teacher. And if you're a student and the teacher's not speaking loud enough for you, you need to talk to that teacher afterwards, or if they're speaking too quickly for you to follow the cues, that's something that you need to bring up because it's really important that you can hear what's going on. Next thing is try to get everybody involved. Teach a useful take-home exercise or a little tip on, that's something they can add to their day. One little tip every now and then, or every time they come to class, is going to build, and it's going to create this menu for them that they can go back to when things maybe are not, they're not feeling their best that day, or they injured themselves. I call this the 911 exercises. I usually will give little exercises here and there that if you get injured, you pull those out of your 911 emergency bag and you start with those exercises to help you feel a little bit better. So these little take-home tips can really be, helpful. Try to let your class have fun. They should leave feeling better than when they came. Nothing is a bigger compliment to me is when someone comes into class and says, "Oh, I'm feeling really bad today. My back's hurting." And when they come up to me after and they say, "Oh, I feel so much better. I'm glad I came." That's the biggest compliment that any teacher can get after teaching a class. It's rewarding to know that you helped someone get past that feeling of pain or discomfort or just depression from maybe having chronic pain, and they feel better after that class. This is something that most teachers, I think, should really put a big emphasis on. And then follow up. Now, I'm going to step back a little bit on that and say also, you can also I do a newsletter. So pre-class, they will get a newsletter every week on what's going on in that class. What is my focus? What props am I going to be using? What meditations maybe that I'm going to do that week? Is it a sound meditation, a breathing meditation, some sort of kind of like a preview of what's going to happen. You can also do this afterwards after you have a class. Maybe you have a new student in the class, follow up with a little, "Hey, that's great." Give some people some inspiration and some encouragement on how it's a journey. It's not just like, 3 classes and yay, I'm all better. It's going to take some time, or maybe even send a video, something you talked about in class or a topic that was brought up and sparked a conversation in the class. Maybe send a YouTube video, an educational video, do a video yourself and send a little clip of something, a reminder of how we can make things better for their lives and how they can improve. So connection is key. Connection is key to progress. Connection is key to improvement in any of the exercises that we're doing, and connection is key in having your client return. And that's what you want. You want to have this ongoing long-term relationship with someone to help them better their lives, and that's going to be your most successful class. So students, if you're not getting all of that, maybe look around, find some place where you can get the best out of your money that you're spending on Pilates. And that's one of the cool things about Pilates, is that it is encompassing all of these different things. So, and it's not just a go in, work out till you sweat and you can't breathe and you can't walk anymore. This is change. This is changing your body for the better, and especially if you have pain issues or anything. I just think it's one of the best programs out there. And if you come to one of my classes, these are all the things that you're going to get in my class. These are the things that I focus on, I put a lot of attention into, and I think you get the best out of it. And I think people get better. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments box below. Any suggestions for videos in the future? I'd love to hear your ideas. And if you're a teacher, let me know where you teach. And if you have a YouTube channel or anything like that, I'd love to check you out and see what you're doing. And hope you had a great day and you enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you soon.